Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Okay, it's 6:30, so let's just try to eliminate those couple of remaining steps over here that we have. So let's say it's a basic UI. So first, the next one that we have here, it's the branch number 4, and here the modified files, and we also get something defining common CDS. So let's see what we want to do here. Let's get checkout for list report. Now we get something also inside of the app itself. So common CDS, and we're also going to get another file where we define annotations for UI, which are UI relevant. So again, we are adding something to our own already defined entities, right? It's something we need for UI. Common CDS is where usually those human readable annotations are stored. In our own particular case, it's for the columns that we had before. For the properties, we just define the titles that we're going to see in the UI. So this is it. Nothing else. Over here, we just add a couple of things like saying, okay, for mitigations, UI will be, the ID will be hidden, couple of annotations. So the cool thing over here is that you get a chance to see how like multiple annotations can be added, like chained together syntactically. This one over here, the longer one, that's one of those, let's call it boilerplate codes. It doesn't do like, it's this whole thing. We're not going to get into this one. It's basically just to not render the ID over here, but to give us some useful text when we get the risks table and we get all the related MITs. We don't want the ID, but we want to get some data from the MIT itself, which is the description, I think, over here. We just want to display the description, and this is like how we use it. ID and description, how we paired. Again, just some basic human readable labels that we add over here to common CDS. What is the next file? Services CDS. This is going to be empty. I think this one, right? So nothing special over here. It's just the automatic generated list. Annotation CDS is what is interesting. No, it's the over here. So this is where you basically add lots of annotations usually. Again, as a few moments ago, it says like exactly which service we are going to specify. So we use risk service that we define over here. That's just the path to our very risk service that we defined over here in this file, in the CDS file here. Now with annotations, again, we use different CDS syntaxes. That's what you already learned, that CDS, one of the qualities of CDS, the job that it enables us to do is to define both the data model and expose those CRUD operations in the form of web services, all the same framework. So here it is how it goes. Like we say annotate the existing risks entity, the one exposed in the service, with a couple of annotations. And now you can just check the list of all the different annotations. Of course, not learn them by heart. A couple of them we'll just use over here for illustration purposes. For example, we're going to say like fields which we search for. Like, let me see which one of those will be worth to mention. It's like identification. That's not. It's like the selection field that we'll see in UI. We'd say the priority is going to be the one that we deal with selection. So we're going to show that in a few moments in UI. So just remember this like annotation over here is just a single line. Again, whatever you see in this file over here. So any behavior that we want to add extra to what's already defined in the UI, and we can specify what exactly is already defined. So anything extra you specify in the annotations over here. Let's say in the form of metadata, you just annotate, assign specific behaviors to what's already available. But you're going to see most of UI, the templates from Fiori elements, you do not do anything in regards to the implementation itself. let me just show you what exactly I should have done. I think I'm going to show you one step before this, because this is not everything. These files are not everything here. This index that we open, let me just see what's the problem here. Why doesn't it load? What was that one? Get checkout for list report. So let me just check. Okay, and now we need to solve a problem. Why doesn't it load UI? Over here. Something which was working yesterday doesn't work today. So not really sure because I see these errors. So let me do a quick checkout again. I'm going to remove this one. I think it should be automatic task management. Okay, and let's just, I'm going to quickly reapply. I'm going to do a fresh checkout. So whatever I did, just give me a few moments. Try it. Allow me to select this. Oh, goodness. Let's try to fix this one by doing like a fresh checkout. So I'll be sure that everything that I have that's fine. Oh no, no. Let's clone it. Okay, and let's do a quick checkout. Hopefully we will not get the issue, otherwise we don't have time to resolve like console errors now. What was that one? Number 4. No. Let's give it a few moments. Now we try to resolve this. Like a JSON issue, if that is the problem. This will have to take some time. Well, this is doing, like, I'm just going to show you well, it does this in the background. I'm going to show you the other part that I have to do. I hope this will finish soon. So the UI itself. So what is the usual way to create a UI? So basically, over here, if you go with Control-Shift-P, you get a command. You get over here the palette where you can use, let's say, tools, which are quite, which are like, let's say, ubiquitous with a cloud application as a programming model itself. Fiori tools are also listed over here. So Fiori itself is like, I'm going to use the one which creates the application itself. Just let me find that application generator. So when we added the Fiori, UI over here a few moments ago, we just did it by file. The manual way would be to do this. Fiori Open Application Generator, one in the set of Fiori tools that we got included as an extension automatically when we selected the project type. So here we use Fiori elements. That's the topic over here. That we have the next one on the slides while the npm installs in the background, and we try to rerun it. Quick brief, Fiori element will have SAP UI5 and what Fiori itself is. Like Fiori itself is the design system of SAP. let's say it's not just the technological components, it's also the methodology consisting of multiple parts, but it basically operates, it's the UI layer, the design system as we call it, because it consists of guiding principles, also modules. It's implemented on these 5 principles over here. So role-based, the first thing it means that you define user roles and what exact application, module, or component of some UI somebody sees is defined based on its role. Things like that live in the Fiori front-end server. We're not going to get into details of that. We're just going to list a couple of principles to understand what are the UI components that luckily when the npm install builds in the end we'll finally be able to see. We're kind of going to do it now a bit of the opposite way. So the adaptive means that you implement something in Fiori and that it automatically adapts to multiple devices, different screen sizes. It's responsive, as it's usually termed with the with UI design and experience guys. Coherent, it means that when you use Fiori, all different SAP applications, your extensions, so everything that you access from Fiori Launchpad as the entry point, that you get the single coherent experience. So it's not just the CSS itself, it's also the user interaction and the experience quality. So when you use Fiori, so it's not a marketing language, this is what you get when you use templates, for example, in our case. So you use templates, and it's not just that you get lots of functional behavior for free and you don't code anything. The thing that you also get with templates is that SAP makes sure that whatever you build complies to that user experience. So things like navigation between elements, or like, let's say some single details of the experience itself. So you do not implement that. That's already obtained with that template. The template is not just a CSS. It's also lots of the functional behavior in the background. So this is what we call coherent. We make sure that it's always the same experience. Simple means that you always, whenever you log into an SAP system, you get something which is like, it looks like a very simple UI in comparison to, let's say, different websites that you see today, or web portals which are more complex, more complex functionality. This is quite simple, and that's the point of the standard Fiori, the basic one. Of course, when you do not apply theming, the basic Fiori, the one that provides coherent experience, should be the simplest possible. So no fancy UI at that level. This is what you add by theming. So that coherent behavior also needs to be simple, but simplicity also means that we try to include elements, only the necessary elements, only the required one. Delightful, again, is something which should be, hopefully it's going to be provided, which means that it's also pleasing to people who use it. So back to the Fiori UI elements and the over here, Fiori UI elements and SAP UI5 freestyle distinction. So what is this? Like two main approaches with Fiori. SAP UI5, if you use that one, you code everything on your own. If you use Fiori templates as elements as a framework, then you get templates. So what do you get with this? Like, of course, the first thing is flexibility. If you want to do absolutely what you want, you go with SAP UI5 and then you code everything. With templates, you will get a couple of them. We shortly have to go through all of the basic ones, so you understand it. So you get templates, you code very little. Of course, flexibility is much lower. Speed is another plus. If you use templates and you just specify a couple of things with annotations, then you get things very fast. If you want to code this, again, that's much slower, but Again, back to the previous step, the flexibility increases. Coding is something you already mentioned. So with Fiori elements, this is almost no coding. Basically no coding, it's just annotations that you add. With SAP UFI, it's everything in code. Of course, SAP UFI, we don't have time for something like that. Fiori elements is what we use here. So what are the basic floor plans? What are the floor plans? So floor plans are those templates that we provide. There's a couple of them. That's not like a list that is cemented in stone, but it's pretty much the same list of templates. It's the basic couple of, let's say that that was the decision of Fiori designers that 80% of the use cases that people have are covered with just these few templates. The first one is the called list report floor plan. It's basically just the list of objects. So over here, you have a page with standard elements like search or filtering fields and the list of the objects. The idea is that you just get the list of objects, where, for example, over here it's listed. Properties like drill downing is not really needed in this case, but some basic operations like search, filter, sort, or grouping are available, and you use that view just to list the given group of like certain list of entities, like over here sales orders. Again, you change this behavior, like for example, which first fields will be included in filtering by using annotations. List report floor plan is one of the floor plans. Things like what happens like when you click on a single sales order. Well, that's when you get the screen with a single sales order object loaded for yourself. So this is object page floor plan, again used to display the properties of the same object. So again, you don't use almost any of those. I mean, you don't code almost any of those. The only thing that you can do, that you're expected to do, is that you annotate something, so add extra behavior, and then, for example, describe like which are the specific panes that are going to be used over here, groups. So you can do that by annotations, but you can use what's available out of the box. So just the default display of an object, the way you described it with CDS before, and that's what we're going to use in this app. Hopefully, if I manage to make this work. So other floor plans that we have is like work list, which is more oriented on the actual actions that are getting executed on the list of items, although it resembles that one with the list of items from a few moments ago. The analytical list page, I hope I have something, some example over here. This is the one which is focused on the analytics to be displayed. And another one that we have over here, it should be one more example. No, for this particular exercise, just these four were listed. So these certain fields of, for example, object, we're going to have in the annotations. So each of them you will see over there. Later on, when you download the materials, when you want to go deeper into if you want to go deeper into code examples, actual examples of the annotations, you will notice each of these marked areas over here in the annotations themselves. The same applies for the lists page over here. So let me see if I want to spend some time on any of these at this moment. Nothing. We just passed through everything. Let's get back to this page and let's hope that everything is installed. I still see this marked as in red. Okay, it is here now with npm install. So npm install just installed all dependencies that we have missing dependencies. Although I'm pretty sure that I'm not sure why I see those like missing dependencies. That should be the case, but we just ran npm install. So automatically all dependencies that npm finds are missing in a package, in a project, it gets installed. It takes some time. So if CDS Watch now is not giving us the UI rendered the way I wanted it, then we're not going to waste any time on that. And I will fix it in the meantime before tomorrow. So let's check index.html. Right. It works. So it really seems that we have some issues with those branches. So just please memorize this thing. I'm going to. This is something I was seeing in the past, and I already emailed the guys from who created a course. But it's like seems like some issue with branches. If you have a missing dependency, just npm install automatic installer for all missing dependencies, and you don't get those red underscores. So here I get the Fiori Launchpad at the start. And I get that very same floor plan that I mentioned a few moments ago. So if I go, this behavior over here, again, you definitely remember that I didn't code a go button before this. So behavior of this specific template is already predefined in the template itself. Things like navigation, what happens when I click on a specific risk object over here, that I get redirected to the actual object page. Of course, a very rudimentary one, because I specified almost anything, almost nothing. This is the rudimentary view. So navigation elements. So what happens when I click on this? Nothing like that you implement. We just defined our own entities. We exposed it through the REST Web Services. And if we want, we specify a couple of annotations. So back to our code over here. That was this specific. Where are we? Just let me find the annotations file. Here it is. So now you will be able to read this annotation file in a bit more details. So it has like, okay, this is where we use the list report page for risks, and we give it a few annotations. So that was changed a bit. So whatever you've seen on the screen, those marked areas, some of the behavior we added here, and the same for the object page. Couple of things, not many, very few, but this is what we did with annotations. So annotation CDS is the file where we will place behavior like that. Okay, so 6:58. We're almost at the end of the time. We are falling a bit behind. So no worries. I'm going to optimize the things tomorrow. So we're going to talk about custom behavior and quickly go through progress with the other elements. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, guys. So we're going to stop here. Same time tomorrow, 4 a.m. for myself. Again, I apologize for I definitely can't think 100% clear this early. 4 a.m. tomorrow for myself in Europe. It should be some more decent time for you in the APJ zone. Thank you for being attentive, guys. Thank you for listening to myself talking very fast all the time. Again, as I mentioned, we are together on this learning journey to have you properly equipped before you join some projects, because it's the joint goal over here is that we have projects successful. So I wish you the nice end of the day for you over there in the APJ zone. Thank you for joining, for showing the interest for this technology, and we're going to talk tomorrow. Bye, guys. We can stop the recording now. Thank you.
Hi, Lucian. Have you done with the presentation?